Well, guys, this might be the record for the quickest that an FC game has ever been 50% off. And yeah, it already is. So that's pretty interesting. That caused a lot of discussion today that we are going to talk about, because what does that show, right? Is that showing people are not playing the game? Is that showing something else? Like, we'll talk about that. We've got some more content confusion just because it's causing confusion. I don't know what else to say about this content right now. A lot of you guys yesterday said the same thing. And then we got this World Tour Silver League today with some weird objectives in here again that we'll talk about right now, actually. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to MMOXP.com. There will be a link in the top of the description. They're the safest and the cheapest option, and you can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. And once again today, guys, there's not many leaks. We have like one pretty decent player of the month SBC coming, but other than that, that's really it. So today might be more talk heavy again, just talking to you guys about some of the stuff in this game right now. And we will talk about some market stuff too when we get there. But of course, I love you and thank you all for watching and being here today. Let's get started with the content. And the first thing here was the World Tour Silver Superstars League 2 came out. And obviously, I like the idea of the Silver Cups now that, or Silver League, sorry, now that we have like these silver objectives every season. And now that we have tournaments and live events, right? Like that's pretty cool. But some of these objectives, again, are so strange. Firstly, here are the requirements for this league, by the way. You actually need 3 World Tour Silver Superstars players, which means if you didn't grind those, you can't do this, obviously. And that is a strange one to me because I don't see why you'd like lock that behind needing to do 3 of these. I think last season it was 1, I believe, was the requirement. And I know that you're going to need some requirements for some live events and tournaments and stuff like that. It just feels like this one's a little excessive for the amount of time you need to actually do a lot of the World Tour Silver Superstar players. Maybe that's being too harsh, I guess, or looking too much into it, but that seems a little bit much. And then what was really perplexing was like the choices in here, because you have to score in at least 25 separate matches to get this 1 of 2 picked. And I'm not sure if you can see or not. I have a big ass head. But if you guys don't know, there are 30 games. So you have to score in 25 out of 30, which that might actually, for some people, be very difficult to do. Like, that's scoring in almost every single game out of 30 with silvers. And okay, and that's the only way to get this pick, which it seems like would have been a good idea if it was just play 25, because then it's, you know, the pick's not going to be that great, obviously. Like, it's a 1 of 2 scream and primetime pick. You're going to get some bullshit in this. And I would say a lot of people can't even get it. Just weird decisions all around. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about with the content decisions, like things, the little stuff like this that maybe the casuals won't even realize, but that the hardcore players realize is like, why would you do that? And it's funny seeing that the people who are going to win 20 out of 30 games here, which most people are not going to be able to do, right? Even then, if you win 20, you might not get the 4x86 pack because you might not score in 25 games. So it's like doubly hard with, I don't know, just some really weird stuff here. And the EVA that came out today does give slide tackle plus and cost 30k. And I actually have said before that it's kind of dumb to look at each day's content, and if the content for that day is bad, raise an absolute hissy fit. Like, you need a pattern of bad content to complain. I think at this point we're at a pattern of bad content. I'm not sure what this is. And it's funny because the gameplay might be what most people say is actually worse than the content. I think the gameplay is not great, but I think it's better than last year still. I also play on PC, which is a fundamentally different gameplay, it seems like, than console. I've yet to play on console, really, besides just a couple of games here. But yeah, Protect the Wings, 30,000 coins, and it gives stat boosts that aren't, you know, the most insane. It gives slide tackle plus. You can make like this kind of fullback card here, who is not bad at all, right? But slide tackle plus, the problem is that the power curve being slower playstyle plus wise means that this card, you know, it can't be upgraded for a long time, and also not a second playstyle for a long time. I mean, what do you guys think of this, right? It just seems okay at best, and it feels like just the standard week before Black Friday content is just what it feels like. And I think for tomorrow's video, because I'll have played Weekend League, I believe I'll have the max 89 base icon upgrade for you guys. But it's also funny, again, seeing repeatable 3 times here. Who's got the fodder to do this like even 3 times in a week? You know, it would help if there was a fucking menu grind, right? A menu grind that was good. It would really help if that was the case. And actually, we got the Americas upgrade today, which wasn't, I don't know if they fixed it based off our feedback. I'm going to assume no, because it was probably too soon for that. But this one's like actually okay, but also it's repeatable once every week, and you can do it twice in total. Get your David Neres card, who is a pretty decent card, fits into Evos soon probably, which is cool. But like, what is the point in this? It's an insult to all of us who want League SBCs back. It is just pointless. But you know what it feels like? It's there for decoration. Like, it feels like it's there as like a way that nothing changes in terms of what you actually get for cards and SBCs, while dressing it up like it's something cool and different. Like, what you're gonna get in these packs here, you'll get some stuff. Premium silver pack, silver pack, silver pack, small rare bronze, small electrum. Like, you're getting 6 players in here per pack. Okay, jumbo silver, it's a little bit more, but like 3 to 6 players per pack in here. You are not even, you're barely gonna notice these guys, it feels like, especially only having it repeatable 1 time per 7 days. This is literally dress up to look like something different while dropping an SBC. That's what this is. Just dropping a Seshko, dropping a Neres, dropping whatever the other one is, Ben Sabani, right? It's just dropping that with dress up. I know we talked about this yesterday for like 10 minutes, but I'm just still so upset about this, because if they're not going to drop League SBCs, you are going to just face the consequences, or at least a good menu grind, right? Maybe League SBCs, like, that's a pipe dream. I don't know anymore, but just a solid menu grind. If you don't have that, okay, then you can just see what happens. If the gameplay's not good, the gameplay's got to be good to make up for it. People don't like it right now because the delay is in there that you don't want to admit's in there. Anyway, I'm being quite negative today, in case you guys can't tell. It's not like this every day. Only 99% of days. But yeah, anyway, let's go talk about now the sale with this. So FC26 is on sale right now, and I think it's on sale for like 50% or so off. I think there were some sites, I think the PlayStation Network had it at 60% or so, or something like that, or close to 60. I know right here on GameStop, flashbang warning, by the way, I apologize, you have 2 seconds to lower your brightness, but I think it's like 50% off or so. Yeah, $37.99 right here, which is basically 50%. And people were saying, oh my god, it's on sale so early. Like, you know, it goes to show you what we thought was happening is probably happening, that there's not many players playing the game right now. And there's a few things with this though. So one right here is, this tweet's actually from October 14th, right? A month ago. And this game was already 40% off on the Ultimate Edition and then 20% off on the Standard Edition. That is very early from what I've seen personally, but people were using like last year as an example to say that this happens every year. And here's one of those tweets right here where he actually tweets a screenshot of this donk tweet from October 27th of last year, where he says FC25 is on sale already, 60% off within a month. And this tweet obviously had a ton of engagement as well, right? Because it seems like, oh my god, the sky's falling, people are not playing this game right now. And people were using this as an example to say, no, that this happens every year, and that this actually doesn't really point to anything. Well, the thing with this is that we don't really have data on this too much, but the game usually in previous years, a 60% off sale in October is extremely rare. And last year, we now know in hindsight, that was a gigantic sale because the game was doing really, really poorly at this time. Like late October into pretty much all of November, the game was doing really, really badly, to the point where EA literally had to apologize to shareholders, not apologize to them, but basically attempt to save face, right? Attempt to save face while also trying to save face with us. And now we're seeing another big sale right now, combined with the fact that a month ago was already 20% or 40% off, depending on the Standard or Ultimate Edition. So it does seem like the sales trends are on the same path as last year, and last year was a pretty extensive one. And whether that was planned from the start, I don't know, right? Because there's either 2 things could be happening here. One is that the game's not doing well and it's on sale for a lot less because they're trying to get you to play the game, right? That's kind of the take that most people probably have at this moment. But we also do know EA is attempting to experiment with the free-to-play model. We know that they've been doing some testing on that. We know that there's certain regions of the world that get this game pretty early free-to-play. I think it's in like the winter time that they actually get the game free-to-play. And it's not many people, it's not big regions, but I think they're trying to see what the data looks like in a smaller sample to know if they can maybe one day, if it's worth it to go to a completely free-to-play model. And if they're very confident in their microtransactions, they don't mind you getting in the door for a little cheaper to then have you go out and buy a lot more. So it's not really a gigantic thing, I guess, that we can take from this too much. But this is on track with what last year's sales were. And I mean sales as in not like copies sold. I mean literally like what's it on sale for. That right now is on track with what last year's was. And last year, obviously, we know the sales were big and the game did not sell well. That's why the sales were big. I know that it sounds confusing, but the sales weren't good. Therefore, the sales were big, right? Does that make sense? And yeah, right here, this PS Store offer for half off is like kinda what it usually is, but half off I think is a little less than sometimes. I think usually you'll see it like maybe 40 bucks or 30% off or something like that. Half off is pretty extensive, and that's been the last 2 years now. Those have been the biggest sales we've seen. So what can we make of that? I really have no idea. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments. But we do have our one leak here is that Mason Greenwood has won the Liga and Player of the Month, and you know, the less said about this probably the better. But Mason Greenwood has won it, and it's probably gonna be a pretty solid SBC if I had to guess. Something like this, maybe a little bit less than this actually. 87 rated, I wouldn't expect to see that. Probably an 84, 85 with maybe -2s on like these kinds of stats here. And next up here, Zorloth is going to get the upgrade, by the way, guys. So 85 to 87 plus a roll upgrade there. 22,000 coins for Zorloth. Now, I think what you guys should actually do here is apply a playstyle plus upgrade to him if you have one, and you actually might want to use this card. If you don't want to use this card, then don't worry about it. But actually, if you apply a playstyle plus this card, I think he still does get the +2. I'm pretty sure he does, because otherwise, like an 87 rated card here, that might take a while to be able to apply a playstyle +2. So if you want to actually maybe use this card, I would probably apply it to him before he gets the upgrade, which I don't think he has yet, right? As of filming this, no, he does not have it yet. So maybe that's actually a good idea. And going back to the FUT Police Leaks tweet from yesterday, guys, what do you think about it? Because now that we've seen the Evo, right? Was this a great stats upgrade? If it was, then these tweets then make sense. If you don't think it was, then maybe there was just a little bit of embellishment here to sell some Mendy's and sell some other fullbacks like Balde, because if you guys don't know, in the hype, they were like 6, 7K. They're now 2K because they weren't very good. So these guys are making bank on these trading discords, on the leaks that they get, and there's nothing we can do about this until EA crack down on it. Like, this is just gonna happen until EA can do something about it, because we're at the mercy of whatever they say to us, because we don't have leaks. We don't know what the fuck is going on. So they tell us whatever they want to tell us until some noble, you know, leaker wants to leak everything all the time for like no real monetary gain, while also simultaneously being like the first one to get them. Until that happens, we're basically at the mercy of whatever they say to us, which might be complete bullshit. But okay, so let's talk about the market here next. And one thing I want to show you guys is the FUTBin Index 100 that we don't look at much on the channel, but if you want to see like a really big, easy to understand way to see the market and how it's moving and the graphs and stuff, is just the Index 100 and also the index icons. You can do fodder and stuff too here with the 86s to 81s, but what you can do, the best way to see what the market's looking like in totality in terms of, is the market actually going down? Is it actually going up? Because sometimes in these kinds of graphs, you'll see here the top gainers and top losers are guys that are like, you know, these are just fodder cards, right? 87s went up today slightly because of the icon SBC. And if you have these, I'd sell these. I didn't even buy these. I don't even like buying on times like this when I think nobody has fodder, because I don't think anybody has any. And you'd think fodder would actually rise when nobody has any fodder, but usually it's the opposite. And the top losers in here are just guys who are pump and dumped, right? Because it's Balde, Frimpong, Mendy, Kirkesh, just the guys who ended up being shit in the Evo. The best way to see what the market's actually looking like is the index icons. These guys only really drop and go up based off of the actual market demand. This is what it looks like right here. This is a really good trend to see. This is just one day, by the way. This is just today's content. This is a very general trend you'll see on the market for pretty much any day, is this right here. Just as like a general tip for all of you. The market will trickle down like an hour or two before content. People will start to panic sell just because content's coming out, and that's the only reason. Like, that's it. The hour before content, besides Fridays, is like by far the best time to buy on any weekday. And this downward trend's actually over exaggerated here a bit because of the icon SBC that came out today, and people panic sold some icons. So this usually isn't going to look like this bad. It'll look more like down to here, right? And then it'll kind of bounce back up again. That next maybe 40 minutes after content, the market rises back up again, starts bouncing back. People buy back cards again. That's kind of what it looks like. Generally, just this trend downward here isn't quite as big. If you go go to daily here, you can see what the market kind of has looked like for the past maybe month or so, right? It's just all been a kind of big downward trend. Usually a really good indicator of what the market's doing is just this right here is the icon index. And going along with that, guys, I don't really want to buy cards still. I just don't want to. Like, I don't want to. I'm on FUTBin right now, which I usually don't do. Luckily, I have ad block, so that's nice, but I don't really want to buy cards right now. I did see some tweets of traders saying the market should do okay this week. I am not as bullish on that personally. I just think we're in a week's period that nobody cares about, which means the gameplay demand's not really going to be there, and we'll have some really good content for Black Friday. I just think it's a recipe for like not wanting to buy cards personally. That's kind of what I gotta say right now, I think. And okay, let's read some of your comments now. We got Monty Matata. Who cares about content if the gameplay is shit? I did not buy this game to fiddle in the menus. I just want to play football. And the beautiful thing about what this game was in its prime was that it could have been either one. Now, of course, FIFA 19's gameplay was dog shit, but the best menu content was FIFA 19. FIFA 17 had League SBCs and stuff like that, and that was pretty damn good gameplay, I thought. So that's kind of why we're the best, like, combination of the two. And one of the biggest strengths this game has, and that they don't lead into for some reason that I do not know. I guess they care about gambling too much and not allowing you to get certain cards rather than thinking about the things that you can do with the cards that you do earn. But the fact that this game can be a menu simulator, while also you can play with those players like a trading card game while also playing with them. If you're like a trading card kind of like fan, the fact that you can play with the trading cards is an incredible idea on its surface, which is what Ultimate Team obviously is. But if they lent into that more, you could expand, I think, your horizons like 2 or 3-fold. And obviously the gameplay, guys, if you make the gameplay decent, then that's perfect too, of course. Like the fact that they can have both of these things and they don't know what to do with it is mind-boggling. They are so blessed with the situation that they're in that they have a monopoly on the biggest sport in the world, and they have such money printing machine that they still are like fumbling a bit, even though they're kind of not because they're making a ton of money, obviously, but they could be making way more to me, like way more. And we got Pierce Dustur. I feel like the age of multiplayer games is coming to an end. Everything I hear about FC26, COD, and Battlefield is negative, but when you speak to someone about Red Dead, GTA, or Spider-Man, it's all positive. So I think you're right about the fact that people do love to complain about multiplayer games nowadays. So what you hear about a lot of the time is negative, and also the single player games, like you kind of make your own experience out of whatever game that you're playing, so you can kind of mold it in your own way, I guess, which you can do with multiplayer games sometimes, but they struggle with that a lot. It's very difficult for, I think, developers to like figure out a way to mold your own experience into these multiplayer games, because you need best guns, best players, best this, best that all the time, because everything's so competitive. To get big rewards, you need good things. How do you allow people to mold their own experience? That's difficult. Like that actually, I do sympathize with that a bit. Evolutions helps with that, of course, but a lot of the times there's more freedom actually in single player games, which can be more restrictive than multiplayer games. I think that helps a lot, and I don't know, like it's a multifaceted issue that is not easy to like talk about in 2 minutes. I think a big part of this can be too that we're also more educated now on like the tactics that these companies use to try and manipulate you to do certain things, like go to stores to buy certain things, or like in COD, for example, releasing a new season that you got to buy a battle pass for that has a crazy gun in it, a crazy skin in it that's like overpowered, that is hard to see, or something like that, that you know they probably did that on purpose to try and get you to buy the skin itself, or just things like that. We obviously know the tactics that FC and EA use, so I think we're just more educated now, and we get kind of tired of seeing that. Like, okay, you're stripping this back because you want to send us here. Like, we're tired of that. There's a lot of things that go into this, I think, but I think there has to be a change to me in these multiplayer games to go back a little bit to more of what we used to have. I know it's like the old back in my day, we used to have better shit. That's like what everybody says. Back in my day, everything was better, right? So everyone says that. But I think these multiplayer games lent into manipulation so hard, and like, oh, retention all the time. People just don't realize the human element where it's like they burn out from that constantly. They feel that you're playing for the retention game, and that's not fun. So I think that plays a part in this as well. But I don't know, I'm just talking, and if you guys are still here, I love you. And thank you all for watching every single day. You guys are incredible, and I love you guys. Peace.